Welcome to the Charge Capture webinar. The objective of the Charge Capture webinar is twofold. We will be reviewing the workflow of charges integrating to patient accounting, as well as processing rejections that result from this process. By the end of the demonstration, we hope your facility can identify a representative from each application who will be responsible for resolving charge rejections in patient accounting. Who will be responsible for this process for each application? ITS, lab, pharmacy, surgery, ambulatory, PCS EDM, and materials management. For those representatives responsible for charge rejection resolution, your patient accounting specialist will be conducting a training on charge rejections. Each charging application will cover how to generate charges in their respective applications training on site. First, we'll discuss charge capture and reconciliation within patient accounting. In many tech expands, we receive charges in patient accounting in the form of batches. Applications such as pharmacy can send patient accounting batches multiple times a day that contain drugs they ordered. For each module sending charges, we have a journal that categorizes their batches. We have journals for all kinds of transactions, such as payments, adjustments, and refunds. Today, we will focus on auto batch journals that facilitate patient accounting integration with charging modules such as ITS. Each batch has a unique number and can be in one of the following statuses. Open. Open indicates the batch has not yet been posted. Posting. Posting indicates that the batch is in the process of posting. Post queue. Post queue indicates the batch is waiting to post. Posted. Posted indicates the batch has been posted and the data is present on the patient account. Deleted. Deleted indicates the batch was deleted and no data from that batch is present on a patient account. If transactions within a batch are missing required information, such as quantity or a patient account number to apply to, the batch will reject. We will review the many reasons charges may reject shortly, and also how we resolve those rejections. Charges flow to patient accounting in near real time. Admissions is the exception to this. We receive room and bed charges for admissions during the midnight run. If a patient is in a bed at midnight, we receive the room and bed charge attached to their accommodation in room. All other charging modules can set up compile times to determine how often they forward charges to patient accounting. When batches come to patient accounting, we can see them in the batch desktop. What you can edit and see in the batch desktop is driven by the user's access. In the journal dictionary, you can restrict access to that journal settings and batches. The front page of this desktop is known as the Journal Summary Report. If you expand the journals, you will see each batch under the journal for the current open date. To change what you see, use the Criteria footer button. Here, you'll be able to restrict by journal, batch status, and batch type. Only accepted batches will show on the front page here. To review batch rejections, select the Charge Rejections button. In patient accounting, we can set requirements for our procedures that, if excluded, will reject. The first place we set these in is the Charge Description Master Dictionary, or the CDM dictionary. On the transaction detail page, we can require any of this information. If you click the rejection radio button, if the procedure is missing this information, it will reject. The charge amount editable field is also on this page, and it is very important. If set to no, the price for the procedure is stored in the CDM dictionary on the Prices tab. If set to yes, the price is stored in the application, for example, pharmacy, and we accept whatever price they forward. If this field is set to no, patient accounting stores the price, and if the price received is different than the price stored, the procedure will reject. We can also require information on a wider basis by using the Charge Category Dictionary. If you require information on the charge category or revenue code level, it will apply to all procedures in the CDM attached to that charge category. If you require information in both dictionaries, the CDM takes priority. The journal dictionary provides us with another layer of controlling when batches accept and when they reject. On the charges page, we can set a range of acceptable dates for auto batch journals. Allow charges for service dates, days prior to registration, and days after discharge service. If the procedure is outside of this defined range, then the procedure will reject for outside discharge service range. We can also restrict journals by charge category. This will reject charges from any charge category except those defined in the field. Outside discharge service range is among the most common rejection reasons. Some other common rejection reasons include procedure doesn't exist in RCG. The billing code entered in the clinical application does not have a matching procedure code in the CDM dictionary. This could be a failure to add a new procedure into the CDM dictionary or a typo in either application. To correct, enter the proper procedure code from the CDM. To prevent future occurrences, correct the clinical application dictionary so this item either contains a proper billing code or add the procedure code to the CDM dictionary. Procedure is inactive in RCG. The billing code is entered in the clinical application, and it corresponds to an RCG procedure code that has been made inactive. To correct, enter the proper procedure or update the proper procedure code from the CDM dictionary. To prevent future occurrences, correct the clinical application dictionary so this item either contains a proper billing code or activate the procedure code in the CDM dictionary. Charge category is not permitted in journal. The billing code is passed from the clinical application and is associated with a charge category that is not permitted in this journal. In a test environment or immediately following live, this may happen frequently, and the journal dictionary should be modified if those categories should be allowed. In a live environment, these restrictions are maintained to guard against keying errors. To correct, if policy indicates a change in the journal dictionary, rekey the procedure code or use the process rejections routine. If there was a typo in the billing code, enter the correct billing code. To prevent future occurrences, modify the journal dictionary or the billing code in the clinical application. Invalid amount for non-editable charge. Charges may be set up as charge editable in the CDM dictionary. If the charge amount editable radio button is set to yes, RCG will accept the charge as it is sent from the clinical application. If this is set to no, RCG will reject any procedure that does not have a matching price sent with it. Some clinical applications contain the price for reference purposes only. Others use the price in the RCG charge master when compiling charge batches. Quantity. Transactions quantity greater than 999 are rejected by the system. Format. Negative quantities may be sent by another vendor application and will be rejected. The CR credit or credit flag should be set instead. We're going to talk about processing a rejection batch next. To review rejected transactions per journal, click the Charge Rejections button on the right of the batch desktop. The daily summary screen breaks down what has rejected and what has read across cleanly for the date selected above. To begin processing rejections, highlight a journal and click the Process Rejections footer button. This will populate a work list of patients with rejected charges from the journal selected. You can resolve rejections on an individual basis or en masse by using the Multi-Select footer button. The Criteria button allows you to filter your rejections as well as sort them using two different sort criteria. Process. This screen enables the user to correct the rejection. The View Component Values footer button shows the GL data associated with this charge. If the rejection, for example, was an order placed in error, you can use the delete to remove it from the rejection batch. Once the correction has been finalized, you can post it to apply the charge to the patient's account. You can proceed to the next rejection without exiting the screen by hitting the Next button on the left. The Rescreen button allows you to rescreen all rejections to remove the ones that may be resolved by changes made to dictionaries. Reassign. Reassign button allows you to reassign rejections to another user. If the user is out for the day and you want to assign the rejection to their supervisor, you can do so here. This works with the multi-select feature as well. Correcting a rejected transaction versus correcting in the source application. Certain rejections cannot be resolved by the billing team. If procedures are sent with an invalid price, they may need to be resent. By having your clinical teams involved in working rejections in this desktop daily, we can prevent them from having to resend procedures. Rejection reports. On the reports menu, we have a deleted charge rejection transaction report. You can define a range of rejection dates and journals to drill down. This report can be previewed or printed locally. The last area that we'd like to discuss is access. Access to patient accounting is driven off the user's profile defined in the MIS Menu Procedure Access Dictionary. This dictionary allows you to define specific menu path access, so rejection users can only view the batch desktop in patient accounting. We can further define access in Patient Accounting Access Dictionary. This allows us to restrict, for example, a surgery supervisor to only see surgery batches and rejections in the batch desktop. We would access the journal page within the Bar Access Dictionary to set these restrictions. At this time, this concludes the patient accounting portion of the charge capture webinar, and we'll be moving on next to clinical applications.